Hmm. Hello again, YouTube land. Pardon me and my need for grooming. I don't know, maybe it's that I'm the heritage that I am, but if I put up my hair, I need it to look very sleek, very even, very clean, very tight. I don't know. So, things going on. Next week I have to go, well, I mean, I don't have to go, but I have to go to Maine for another brief, unplanned stay. Semi-unplanned, I'm telling you about it in advance. Because my sister is having an operation. Now, because it's my sister and because it's medical, I'm not going to go excuse me, into too much detail, even though she doesn't have the internet and can't watch this, because that's just etiquette. But suffice to say, this is my younger sister, our nephew's mother, and given what kind of surgery it is, and given her history and our family history, she said it's very important to her if I would come at least for a day and a night, and she would feel a lot better if I was there to spend time with Connor and help look out for him for a little while I was visiting her. That's fine. That's a fair and reasonable request, and I told her a long time ago, I'm your big sister. If you want something from me, if you need something from me, I make no promises that you'll get it, but I promise that I will listen to the request, and that if it's something that is reasonable and responsible and not outside the realm of my willingness and ability, I may or may not do it. So, a few weeks ago, she told me this was coming up. She didn't know when. She'd tell me when she had more news. Well, now she has more news, and it's next week. So, I had to do relatively last-minute planning with her and my dad, our dad, and figure out going up and staying and coming back. And I'm going to have to be gone longer than I want, but there's no real way around it. I mean, especially now, I already bought my bus ticket. But I have to go up Wednesday, then stay with my parents, then go up to where she lives, which is another hour-and-a-half drive from where my parents are, and then spend the night at her house, and she's living in one house with her son, her husband, and her parents, my aunt and uncle. Spend the night there, which is going to be loads of uncomfortable, because I don't get along with her parents at all. Then come back the next day when my dad picks me up, because my dad's taking me up there and then he's picking me up as well, so I'm kind of asking a lot of my dad during his time when he's not at work, but he's agreed. Then I'm spending Friday night at my parents' house again, and then I'm leaving Saturday morning. So I'm trying to shoehorn in as much family time as I can, because I don't see my family very often because they live in the Northeast. They live in Maine. So when I do see them, I enjoy it. So I'm going to bring up related presents and such, because I have some gifts for my dad, some gifts for my mom, whose birthdays are June and July respectively. And my dad's birthday is Father's Day, actually. And this year he was able to tell me, well, just get me one gift, because my birthday actually falls on Father's Day this year. And it's not like a timing thing. His birthday actually is Father's Day, Father's Day. The year he was born, it was Father's Day. So it's going to be an interesting thing. For anyone who's seen my previous vlog postings here on YouTube, the last time I took a bus up to see my family was last July, and it was the expedition when our nephew was born. And it was a thing. It was an ordeal unto itself. I won't get into it again. Look back to see the posting. It's it's a story. It's one of those only me kind of things. But in the meantime, I have a lot of planning and preparation work to do. And I was downstairs having walked Sam to the train, saying to myself, oh, well, I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do that. And then all of a sudden it just dawned on me, it's not for 7 days. I'm not leaving until next Wednesday. Why am I doing all of this planning now? Like, I was out at the grocery store thinking, well, I need to pick up this, and I need to pick up that, and I need to make sure there's enough of this in the house for Sam to have lunches. And I said to myself, what kind of ridiculousness is this? Why would you buy groceries for his lunch next Thursday, today? That doesn't make, I mean, even if it's something that keeps in the fridge like jelly or something, it wasn't making a whole lot of sense. So I kind of reeled myself back in and said, all right, you know what? Slow your roll. You need to make lists. I'm a list person. I don't know if it's because I'm female. I don't know if it's because of my ethnic background. But for whatever reason, or just me being a paranoid psychotic, I need to make lists. So, on my daily to-do list, one of the items I have written down is create lists for travel. I have to plan what I'm going to wear, so I know how much of each thing I need, shirts, pants, undies, what have you. I need to make a list of the secondary items I need to bring, medications, shampoo and conditioner, body wash, blah, 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 blah. So on my to-do list is create more lists. But I did already get my bus tickets. I bought them on the website, which helps because the sooner you do it, the better. But a lot of times with my sister, pinning down dates, it's like trying to nail Jello to a wall. You really can't do it. But this time, I planned it out with my dad, and I told my sister, you know, I'm there when I'm there, accept it. I may only stay one night, but, you know, I'm coming. So that's what makes her feel better, I guess. But it is a thing because there is a lot to do, and there's a lot that I worry about and that I plan for, and Sam has specifically asked me to make him a list of things so that he can get them done, you know, kind of like a honey-do list, but it would also have to include, you need to remember to feed the cat, you need to remember to do her litter, you need to remember to water my vegetation, because I have an herb garden kind of thing now. I have parsley growing and basil growing and a tomato planter growing. So they need care and attention as well. I'm usually home, so they get watered 2 or 3 times a day, especially on the hot days. So with him going to be at work, I have to make sure that he knows to really well water them in the morning and then just water them at night if they look really dry, and how much to water them. Fortunately, I've pre-done the soil in effort to prevent my own stupidity, really. And there's a type of thing you can buy for potted plants and outdoor plants. They're these crystals that you mix them into the soil, and they absorb excess water and then slowly release it as the dry soil they're encased in pulls it out of them. So it's like an insurance policy for over and under watering potential, which is good. I mean, I'm very glad I got them. The soil that they're planted in has been pre-fed, pre-seeded with plant food, so they should be well fed until the beginning of July, really, at which point I just need to mix in more food into the topsoil, really. But that's basically it. So I kind of had to reel myself back in and say, you know what, take today to work on your list. You already got your bus ticket. That's the major thing. But it's an ordeal, and I'm going to have to be away from Sam 3 nights, which is not fun. Over our time together, we've both learned that neither of us really does well without the other one. And I don't just mean that in, like, some of the simpler ways, like, you know, oh, well, my days are happier when you're here, or, you know, the day runs smoother when you're here to do this or that or whatever. It's an overall thing. I mean, like any long-term relationship. You know what? My hair is pissing me off now. This is how long my hair has gotten. And I've had 3 inches cut off since the wedding. No one believes how fast my hair grows. Like the course of any long-term relationship, if you get used to having someone around, and then, especially if you're married, if you're used to having your spouse there, you see them in the morning, you see them at night, you're used to one being the early riser and one being the night owl, like Sam and I, you don't function well when that's not how your day goes. When Sam's had to be away for a night, I basically don't sleep. I mean, those are the insomniac nights. Those are the nights when I get a bunch of cleaning done and watch movies that are in the Netflix queue that I haven't gotten to in a long time. That's what happens. So when I have to go away, it's an interruption to the routine, and it's not fun. It's not pleasant. I mean, we'll both sleep. We have to sleep. Eventually, we're going to sleep because our body isn't going to let us do anything else. But we're not going to sleep well. We're not going to sleep comfortably. And it's going to be annoying, I'm sure. I mean, he'll be here with Tribble, and they'll have each other, but I don't know. I don't like it. A lot of times I've heard people say, well, you know, we've been together so long that we take separate vacations, and, you know, when one of us has to go out of town for whatever reason, it's kind of a relief because, you know, then you can do whatever you want on your own time, in your own way, without having to worry about doing stuff with someone else. And I admit that's a possibility, that eventually Sam and I might come to a point where we would enjoy separate vacations. But we've been together 4 years, more than 4 years now. We've been married almost a year. It's like since September, so October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. 8 months now. And we don't like being apart. We're not at a point where spending significant time away from each other, and by significant, that's anything more than 24 to 48 consecutive hours. We don't like spending significant time apart. Now, don't get me wrong. When he's at work, I do enjoy that it's just me and the cat here. I do like the fact that I have a chance to just be me in my own personal crazy way, because as much as I, you know, act funny or strange or amusingly entertaining when Sam's around, everyone has those certain weird eccentricities and mannerisms that they really don't do in front of anyone. So when he's not home, that's when I get to be my weird, freaky self. So that's good. But then by the end of the night, 4 or 5, 6 o'clock at night, I miss him. You know, Tribble and I miss him. She starts meowing. She cuddles in his chair. I'm walking around trying to figure out what to make for dinner and, you know, etc. and so forth, and what we're going to watch together. So having to go away for several days is not something we look forward to. I think Sam would agree with me on that, I'm pretty sure. But that is basically what's going on now. The other big thing I'm just going to peripherally mention here is that I had spoken before about, for reasons I don't understand, somehow in a week, I went from losing almost 10 pounds to a week later putting all of it back on. In the last 2 days, I've somehow managed to re-lose, re-shed, discard again, 5.5 pounds. What? I mean, I know I'm big and I'm likely to carry more water weight than people smaller than me, but that seems kind of like a high amount. I mean, as much as I've ever watched The Biggest Loser and they do all that exercise and they drop 10, 15, 30 pounds or more in the first week or two of working out, well, most of it's water weight. How much is most? 30%? 60%? What am I looking at here? In any event, I do feel better being 5 or 6 pounds lighter than I had been the last couple of days. And it may very well have been water weight. I don't know. Stupid glasses do not stay clean. So I'm going to go work on getting stuff done around the house because whether or not we're leaving today, tomorrow, next week, or next month, there's always stuff to do. So I'm going to get to it. I'll talk to y'all next time.